Welcome, one and all, to this absolutely special reunion. Now, some of you who are OG in the comment section will know the lovely squad that is with me right now. My OGs from another... I don't know where I'm going with that. Scrap that. But the Geek Talk Society, it was, then the Geek Talk Show. There was a nice little thing that I did once in a while where I got us all together to talk about pop culture. So pretty much the same kind of thing me and the Kings do on the Sundays. But this was early on in my YouTube journey, and I gotta say, and I'll say this on air so it's immortalized, if it wasn't for getting a bunch of guys together to shoot shit on Venom, I mean, that whole franchise is a fucking shit show now. But, you know, at the time, it wasn't so bad, and good times were there. You know, it was good times. And the channel wouldn't even exist at this current moment if it wasn't for assembling these guys here. Now, Charles, me and him go way back to college, as does me and Ty. And Charles and Ty know each other through experiences prior. Stuart, me and him go way back to secondary school. And Lewis, we met at Comic-Con. So that was, you know, the crux of us all coming together. And I thought, you know what, let's get a bunch of guys together to talk some pop culture and have some fun and have some laughs. And Ty.
Yo, what's up?
To my next point, would you like to do an old school introduction that you used to do in your own very unique Tyrone way? Your own way.
God, I love these.
Unfiltered. You have the
Jacob, see, here's the thing. I've taken a liberty. Now, Jacob, if you see now, I've shared something. I've made a little something.
Go on.
I made
Let's
a little.
see what you got, bro.
Here's the thing. Bear in mind, I had little time to edit, so
you know what?
Just go with it. Run with it, bro. Run with it.
The lateness doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah, for real. Let's run with it, brother.
It's more than worth it. Ty, you ready?
Go for it, bro. You got this, family.
If you need a good show with context and nuance, you can
Hey, he said the phrase.
Geek Talk. Jacob's the chosen one. Charles is the lively one. You can always go. Geek Talk. Lewis has puns and tricks. Ty's got a brush. And who can forget the guy we all love? Our own Ninja Stew. And there we're on the show. Geek Talk. Oh yeah, and there's this guy. Geek Talk was filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Oi! Oh, the old intro.
And the
Hey! Oh, that's a throwback. Hey.
Yeah, it needs way more editing. Like, yeah.
You know what? It's
That's
so
why I was
janky.
late.
It's so janky and so ghetto, but I love it simultaneously. So
bad.
I'm not even angry. You know what?
I love it. Everyone in the chat, raise the point.
Yeah.
This man right here.
You outdone yourself with that one. I'm very happy. That's actually worth you being late. I'm not even angry anymore. I appreciate that. That was
really good. Oh, you could have been an hour late. I wouldn't mind that intro.
That was brilliant. I love that, man. Appreciate that, bro.
I tried choosing the best picks for everyone.
No, that's cool. You actually done me all right. That's all right. I'm not even angry with that.
I think I did Jacob dirty. Jacob's the one I did dirty. He was like,
one.
Yeah, I'm the one that has the bloody, you know, the battle squad.
Yeah, damn, man.
Jacob.
What? How old are
you? Must be looking like Mr. Steal Your Girl. I mean,
I don't know about...
That's a young Jacob. That's a young Jacob.
Young Jacob right there. About
young 19, Jacob.
19?
Boy.
It's bloody madness.
Boy.
Brilliant.
Boy, but yeah.
It obviously needs a little bit tweaks and tweaks, but yeah.
No, that's good, man. I appreciate that, bro. That's solid. That's really done my day.
And I don't want to copyright Jacob with
in the chat right now.
Anything.
Yeah, that's really done my day, man.
That's bloody awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chubby Teddy. You're one of the OGs as well. Like, he was in here.
I remember this guy.
I remember this Don, bro.
Hey, bro, you got some loyal fans.
Yeah,
you got some loyal subscribers, bro. You doing your thing for real. But lads, we're back. We're back.
We're back,
baby.
Squad. Now, I was about to say, gentlemen, I'd say, lads, how do we feel about kicking off with our first topic, Marvel and the Multiverse?
Let's go for it, bro.
Now,
Let's go for it.
we already know what I have to say about it, as I've ranted many times. Oh, Scarlet, we're just going to kill everyone. Yeah, fantastic. Great storytelling. But other than that, I will bounce off of you guys. So who wants to go first? We can go like in a round sort of.
Shall we maybe go like how it appears on the screen?
Yeah, that can work.
Mr. Charles?
That can work. Charles, I suppose we can start with you, pal.
Okay, I'll go first. That's no problem. So the MCU currently, my thoughts. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I'm loving it. I really am, and I'll tell you why. Because they're not afraid. The Marvel have they've perfected their formula. They know what we expect. They have the budget to deliver it, and they are not very shy about going the extra mile. So originally we've had Iron Man, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. as the main figurehead of the MCU. He spearheaded that for about 10 years solidly. We have no questions about that. My guy, fucking love you for that tie. Fucking love you for that tie. We'll get onto that one later. And now we've got Doctor Strange. So from what I'm seeing, correct me if I'm wrong, lads, but I feel like Doctor Strange is going to be the new Tony Stark moving forward. He's going to be the central figurehead pushing
More
the
or less.
MCU forward. Right, more or less. He's replaced Robert Downey Jr. in that regard. Right. I'm glad they're doing this because I believe that there's always a figurehead that's needed. So I think that's...
Charles, I'm so sorry to cut you off, bro.
What's up?
Fuck.
Oh my gosh.
Oi.
No, ain't no way. Ain't no way.
Oi.
Send
I was like, what's the big deal? It was just like, and then it's like, oh,
Great intro.
Oi. I'm so sorry to cut you off, Charles. Hey, Sensei Terry Silver Slytherin.
Yeah.
Everyone raise a toast to this man in the chat right now. You're the
Absolute
freaking
legend.
man.
Absolute legend.
Great intro. Glad you bring everyone back. Thank you for those this community. Sorry I've been MIA, but I am back. Family, you're damn right. Thank you so much.
Big up yourself, bro. Love for that.
I mean, I don't know what else
amazing.
to say other than thank you. I'll be keeping an eye on the chat as the stream goes along, but thank you so much, bro.
That's
I really
a love. That's
that.
a lot of love for that. Jacob, you got some real supporters, bro.
I know these guys are fucking amazing.
You got some real ones. You got
especially
a solid
this
community.
one right here.
You got a solid community, bro. You should be proud of yourself. No, big up yourself, bro.
Jacob, you scared me. I thought like the stream crashed. I'm thinking, you're joking.
Oh, no,
yeah, because I saw his face.
That's happened before.
I saw his face. I was like, what happened?
But yeah, sorry, Charles, I cut you off there. Carry on,
bro.
it's
all right. We'll carry on. So, gosh, what was I saying? So, like I said, MCU is perfected the formula. Yeah. Doctor Strange taking the role. Benedict Cumberbatch. That's cool. I'm liking where they're going. Everything is more geared towards space now. So we're exploring the outer limits of the MCU, and I feel like they've got a lot of potential because the cosmic entities themselves are legitimately ginormous, and there's so much for them to explore there. You've got the Celestials, you've got Galactus, you've got the Living Tribunal, you've got different planets, as we already know. We just have so many different aspects and so many different laws that we could tap into, and I think it's really, really cool that they're not scared to branch out into that. And even including the multiverse, like
that's another feat in and of itself.
That can go so wrong so quickly, but
DC,
I think that the way they're doing it, making Scarlet Witch the figurehead of magic and chaos, and if they do a House of M storyline, I don't think I'll be too mad, because who else but her to make that type of thing happen?
Yeah, there's not really any other choices. So
it makes sense. And MC and with all the other shows and stuff, they're still showing a lot of love to all the characters that we've grown up with. Falcon, Winter Soldier. They're still
Moon Knight's coming in the fold.
Moon Knight's coming. Yeah, Moon Knight's coming in as well. Moon Knight's come through. it's really, really cool that, you know, they're giving newer, well, not to say newer, but they're giving shine to a lot of undeveloped superheroes. Me personally, I just wanted to see the Defenders back, but I don't know about that.
I mean, one thing that they're doing well is, I said this before after Hawkeye's show, and I said it after Falcon and Winter Soldier, is even though we've known Bucky, Sam, and Clint for like damn near as long as some of the main players, it feels like we're just now starting to get to actually know them.
For real.
That added development. And Daredevil, you know, spoilers, has now been like integrated into things. Kingpin's been brought into the fold, and they put the Defender shows on Disney Plus, like in the Legacy kind of thing. So that is possible that they could bring them over.
Yeah, I hope so, man. I hope so. But what else would I want to say?
Daredevil has already made a appearance.
Say that again?
Matt Murdock, Daredevil, made an appearance.
Yeah, no, in fact, yeah. So
My friend was back, you know. People were clapping. It was just like, who is that? Why are they clapping? It was just like, when he came on, just like, you don't know. I had to explain to them.
I just saw a comment that said, do you think we'll see Beta Ray Bill in Thor 4? It's possible, you know. The way these lot are going, why not? Why not?
I think it'll most likely happen.
Yeah, why not? I don't see why not, to be honest, bro. I think it's definitely possible.
Who's doing that scrunching noise for real?
That's Ty, I think. I think that's his chips.
Ty, again. For God's
Nothing.
sake.
What? No, I'm done. Swear down. What the hell?
Literally, I can barely hear a word Charles is saying because I'm hearing.
No, but anyway, it's cool. I'll just repeat myself. So I'll say, in regards to the comment that was left, will we see Beta Ray Bill in the new MCU? Probably. I hope so, because that would be really, really awesome. A question for you lads, right? Jane Foster, Thor. What are you not telling me? Because I think that's going to be amazing. Now, you know, Jacob, I know how much you hate feminism. I'm joking.
A lot has changed in 3 years.
Yeah, I'm joking. A lot has changed in 3 years, my friend. But originally, the original storyline was very, very touching. She was suffering from cancer, and she used the power of Mjolnir to heal herself. Now, I don't know what brings about this in her, but if they follow this,
that's the opening of the film.
But if they follow the storyline, like for example, you know, because she was injected with the ether, you know, she was left with a rare form of cancer that only the power of Thor could save her from, or something along those lines. And you know, maybe she's become the new Thor now because, you know, she can now see herself as a champion for, you know, people that are suffering through fatal illnesses or something along those lines. I think that would be a really, really cool aspect to maybe have. I don't know if they're going to do that, but I think that'd be really, really amazing. They'd have to give her own villains. Like, I don't want her to be just the female Thor. I want her to be Jane Foster Thor, if you see what I'm saying.
Like Miles Morales kind of Spider-Man.
Yeah, I want it to be like that in a way. I don't know how you lot feel about that, but that's just my personal take.
With me, it's like
Go ahead, Ty.
Now I see what Charles is saying, because like I hope that what they don't do in the comics, because like, you know, when Jane became Thor, she literally took. It's not like how with Miles Morales and obviously in the Batman situation, it's like Thor kind of more or less his name was given up to Jane. So like Thor was his name was not Thor. He was still like the Prince of Asgard, Odinson, all that yada yada yada. But he wasn't Thor. But like Jane was now Thor. I hope they don't do that. I hope they don't like push like Thor to the side. I kind of still want him to be there. But then again, at the same time, I don't want like to push out Jane Foster's Thor in the way, because like, you know, she's still there. But like I kind of
finding the balance of both.
balance as everything should be. If anyone understands.
Well, to piggyback off your point, this is exactly what I think they're going to do. Is Thor isn't getting kicked to the side like everyone worries about, because he's front and center in the trailer more than any other character. Like even Jane herself, he's there literally every 2 seconds. So don't be surprised if the opening of the film has her cancer stuff come into play or something like that to do with the ether. And then the power of Mjolnir is the only thing that can save her. Because if you look at Mjolnir in the trailer, it looks reforged. Like it doesn't look new. It looks like it's the pieces of the previous one. And it is a rom-com, so expect Thor and Jane to like, have like, I want to know what love is, as they're looking across at each other and all that kind of stuff. And Taika Waititi's directing it, so they're going to do that. But with Jane's story, it is, as you say, very touching and heartfelt, and I think they can really pull on those emotional heartstrings where they can take, what's up, King? What's up, sir?
Hello, King. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. Welcome.
But essentially, what they could do is have it be a very sort of touching moment where she's on her deathbed, and the only way to save her is, with that magic and with that power. But then what you could do is you could have it be a slow transition where maybe she's been Mighty Thor for like a little bit of time, and she's not like a complete novice. And then when Thor sees her, a bit of time's passed, and he hasn't even realized that she's been like kicking around, so to speak, for a little bit. But then what can end up happening is she might just take the role of main Thor, whereas our Thor either progresses to Rune King or Allfather. And I think with Galactus and stuff teased along the way, you need him to really filter into the next level and evolution of his character. And I would love OG Thor to become like this wanderer of the galaxy, like this powerful entity that just goes around protecting people, almost like Batman of the universe, pretty much. And then when Galactus comes to town, mighty Jane Thor, whatever, Jane Foster goes to get him and says, hey, yo, all hands on deck. And that's when you bring him back into the fold with the main guys. So that's what I think they could do. And then Valkyrie's taking control on Earth, and then she'll be, the king and finding her queen, whatever. You got Korg still in the mix. Beta Ray Bill will probably show up. Then you've got Zeus, Russell Crowe playing Zeus. So don't be surprised if there's like other gods in the movie that get when Gore shows up.
I wouldn't be surprised if like. You wouldn't be surprised if someone like you guys know Sword from WandaVision, if they like, because they worked. Has anyone? Have you guys seen WandaVision? Do you know what happens? Or
I haven't seen it, but go ahead and spoil it.
Basically, they fixed up Vision and they made up our own Vision. I wouldn't be surprised if their sneaky asses like saw Munir thinking, okay, what can we do with this? And then, I wouldn't be surprised if they just pieced that. I laugh if they use like super glue or something like. They probably won't, but it's like, it's just funny. But and also, it'd be just nice if they could just. I feel with Love and Thunder, it's going to be kind of like a message to Thor fans, particular. So if they, for example, bring back the Warriors 4, if they bring back Lady Sif and all that, if they bring back Darcy, if they bring back Selvig, that'll be, it'd be nice.
Definitely coming back.
So that's why I kind of think Love and Thunder is. I think it's just kind of another little just note to the fans, and especially that poster. I mean, Thor be looking like He-Man, like I have the power.
And if anything, like it's just we don't have to worry about like where they're going with him next, because I don't think if they wanted to write him out, they would have bumped him off like straight away after Endgame, but they've set him up for more. So I think that we're only just getting started into the real juicy arc of Thor. But I think when we go to see this movie, all hope of a serious Thor or old school Thor is gone. This is the Thor that we've got now.
One last thing. It was so funny when the Guardians left. It was just like, it felt like they were dropping off their kid, and like Peter Costa was like, okay, son, this is daycare. You enjoy your time here, and just like. They were just like, bye. And he was left with Korg and Meek, and I was just like, man. I laughed. Oh, yeah, Korg's back. Yes, Korg.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Stu, what's your thoughts on
man? Stu.
It's weird because after Endgame, I was expecting my interest in the MCU to kind of dip. But if anything, it's elevated. I was also concerned about oversaturation, but Marvel Studios have been so consistent, in my opinion, with he'll be back. Has been so consistent with their films. Like the only film that I can think of that, in terms of the MCU, that I didn't really particularly thought was as good as the others was The Eternals. I thought it was still decent, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like as good as the other things, TV shows and
Any particular
and films
reason
that
why you felt
has.
that?
Say again, Charles.
Any particular reason why you felt that it wasn't as good as the other ones?
I think it was a little bit long,
Oh, really?
and
Okay.
I didn't feel the connection with the characters as much as I have with previous MCU films.
And
I
you got
thought
your
the
closure.
action was cool. I didn't like what they did with Icarus either.
I
I
hate
didn't
that.
like that plot twist with him.
Stupid.
And I felt as if like the enemy group, the main villain, was very underutilized.
Right.
But apart from that, I still thought it was decent. But you know, with the TV shows that have come out, I've pretty much enjoyed all of them. I haven't thought any one of them was bad. I think Loki is the weakest out of all of them so far, but I still thought Loki was decent. And with WandaVision as well, the first 2 or 3 episodes of WandaVision, I was like this. What the hell is going on? I was just like, what's the purpose of this show? And then it just got better and better and better for me. But like with the films that are coming up, there is quite a few that I'm not particularly keen of as of right now, and TV shows. So Miss Marvel is one of them. The Marvels. The only character that I'm particularly interested in with that film is Monica. We haven't seen any much promotional material for that film, but you know, as it stands, not really. Dare I say Wakanda Forever also? I'm sure it will be a lovely tribute to Chadwick Boseman and a great send-off to his character, because I understand his character in that film, Black Panther, meant a lot to a lot of people. So I'm sure it will be a wonderful film. But as of right now, obviously, we don't know that much. We haven't seen much source material for it. Thor Love and Thunder as well, because I enjoyed Ragnarok, but I didn't like how over comedic it was. That's just me. I felt as if there was a bit more of a balance between comedic and seriousness. I thought it could have been a much better film, and I think the same can be done for Thor: Love and Thunder, but it looks like they're going to double down on the comedy a lot. So it is what it is. But obviously, Spider-Man: No Way Home was just sublime. But I did make a couple of notes with particular to Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I'm really looking forward to this film because I think it's going to be the big game changer in this phase of the MCU. It's going to really progress things into this phase that we're going into. And, you know, you expect this with every Marvel superhero film, but based on what we've seen on the trailers and the promotional material, I'm really expecting the third act to be pretty epic. Another character I'm really curious, and I could be butchering her name, so please correct me if I am. Is what's really the purpose of America Chavarez's role being in this film? Because, you know, and what is her connection to what's going on with the story, and what's her big involvement? Because through a small piece of research, the only things I really know about her, and this particular one isn't of really particular interest to me, but understandably to a lot of people it is, and each to their own, is that she was the first Latin American LGBTQ character to have a ongoing Marvel comic book series issue, and she has comic book powers. That's literally all I know about her. I didn't know that this isn't a shot on her. This is just I didn't know she existed until her character.
To be fair, me neither.
In this
I'm
film,
not going to pretend I knew little.
You know, I'm curious, like, what's really her purpose in this film? What's she really doing here? I think one
theory have a list of her powers.
Huh?
Strength.
You know what her powers is.
Hang on, let me Google it.
But you know, I think she'll. Another thing is maybe, you know, this could be also a way of setting up her own film and maybe a Disney Plus show. Another thing is Moon Knight. I absolutely am loving Moon Knight right now. I'm loving the story. I'm loving the characters. I'm loving the different personalities. And And I think, I'm hoping that the final act in these last 2 episodes is going to be epic. But yeah, I mean, MCU is just absolutely killing it right now.
Nah, I basically know what Chavez. So, do you guys know Gwenpool?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Gwenpool.
Gwenpool and American Chavez, their powers, they're not basically. Well, they're basically the same, but they're not. So we all know Gwenpool. She's kind of in our universe. So like, she can kind of see how different universes are like. So the MCU to her, that's a universe. Or
Yeah.
I don't know, Spider-Verse is a universe. Or for example,
Yeah.
I think maybe she can also go to the DC universe. I don't think so, but maybe. Yeah, there's that. American Chavez now is where she's in. There's a part in the multiverse where, like, the best way to describe it is so like Raven, she lives in Azrath.
Yeah.
In
Oh,
DC.
she
So
can
that's
shift
where
through dimensions.
in essentially, yes.
Okay.
And so American Chavez, she can also open doorways to multiverses.
Okay.
But her doorways, for some reason, they look like a star. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got
So
you.
that
Okay.
is. And also, fun fact: she's not the first Miss America. There was a Miss America in a very old comic with Captain America, and she also appeared in the Spider-Man cartoon in the 90s with, I think it was the Hero 6, something like that. Black Marvel, Miss America, Captain America, and Spider-Man. And yeah, so she wasn't the first Miss America, but yeah, but yeah, she's cool. She dumb powerful, as our boy Charles would say.
Okay. Well, let's see.
That's a
Let's
classic
see.
phrase.
All right,
That was
Ty. Fair play to her then. All right.
a classic phrase right there. Dumb
All
powerful.
right. Dumb powerful. Let's see if she is dumb powerful. Lewis, my man, hit me. What's your thoughts on this?
Phase 4. I mean, there's a whole range of emotions. I mean, I have enjoyed, I'd say, most of the Phase 4 stuff that's come out over the last few years. Probably the highlight for me probably was the Shang-Chi film. I'm quite excited to see how they introduce that character more into some ensemble.
That was amazing.
film.
Shang-Chi was very, very pretty. Like, it was very aesthetically pretty.
It's just one of them visually beautiful.
Yeah, it was visually appealing. It was very pretty. Like,
every scene was a wallpaper.
Yeah, like Marvel's just trying to be pretty now. Like, Eternals was very visually pretty. Shang-Chi was very visually pretty.
Well, I kind of like that though, because they'll make it nice and pretty, and then they'll just go and take a massive like Avengers Endgame HQ explosion, like right all over it, just destroy it.
No.
I mean, the Thor, that's a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? The new Thor trailer, the color in that. I mean, the saturation of color, like it's so vibrant, so like
that shot of him on the hill.
It just lifts your spirits. You see the color popping off the screen, and we're at a time where the special effects artists are going to be hitting the top of their game, probably going to stay at the top of their game, and you've got all these ensemble casts coming in. We've still got the Guardians. I mean, we've introduced the Eternals, and I agree with some of Stuart's sentiments around that film. I didn't particularly latch onto any one character in it, like maybe I felt like I might have, but hopefully there'll be more opportunities for them to blossom. And then in the back of my mind, I'm still itching to see some X-Men, at some point. I mean, I can't wait till they get introduced. So you got all of these.
Fantastic Four needs to happen first before X-Men can jump in. Me personally,
yeah, you're right.
Because if we're doing this whole universal, multiversal stuff, they need to come through at some point.
You need our boy Reed Richards, man.
Well,
yeah, we need that.
On that, I mean, they've got Fantastic Four film in the works.
Yeah. But I want to see a Fantastic Four film first before I see the X-Men film.
But we will get the multiverse versions in the Illuminati and Doctor Strange too.
Yeah, of course you will.
Yes, there's the. I was reading some rumors around. I won't say what the rumors were I was reading because I don't know how true or spoilery they are. But certain actors playing certain characters in that, and I don't know if one of the Fantastic Four, like you said, Jacob, has it been confirmed to be in the film?
They won't confirm it just to keep it under wraps, but more or less Patrick Stewart's in there. That's one. But
he was identified as the voice, wasn't he?
You should tell him the truth.
You know how we've always fantasized pre-MCU Avengers. What would that look like? This could give us an idea.
Yeah, for real.
No, carry on, Lewis. Sorry, I interrupted you. I was saying carry on, Lewis. I cut you off.
Can you, Lewis?
Lewis?
Can you hear us?
You good? Lewis?
Technical difficulties.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. Do it. I shouldn't laugh.
Are you
Yeah.
muted?
Jacob, vamp for like a minute.
Lewis, can you
Hang
hear
on,
us?
guys, my headset's gone.
Oh, okay. It's all right.
Keto interval.
Absolute
Yeah.
interval.
Yeah.
Something always like that bound to happen. But
So, on that, just because I want to get your guys' like opinion on it, if Doctor Strange 2 plays out how I think it's going to play out, and we get a multiverse Illuminati. Now, although they could be variants, the Arrowverse has done this before, where it's okay if we kill characters. They're on Earth 750 fucking 6, and then they keep killing them off needlessly. I really hope that these legacy actors like Patrick Stewart or Warren Grufford, Mr. Fantastic, I really hope they're not coming back just to be killed off.
Yeah.
Because this is something that really worries me, is as much as it could serve the story and as much as it happens in the comics and all that kind of stuff, I just worry that it's just an opportunity to say, hey, it's Patrick, bonk. And it's like, we've seen him die twice, like enough now. I don't want it again. But if Scarlet Witch is to go around on the massacre, like she probably will, there's rumors of a Tom Cruise Iron Man because he was always like a fan casting. There's rumors that Owen's coming back, Mordo's on the Illuminati, Mr. Fantastic, Professor X, and a couple of other unconfirmed people. Captain Carter's rumored to be making like a live action debut in there as well. So if that happens, before we potentially get into Sony's little shit show, what are your thoughts on if that is to happen?
I don't know much about the Illuminati from the comics, so I can't really comment on that.
I can fill in on that one then, bro. Right. So if they end up doing that, it's going to be very, very cheap, because I understand that, Marvel have a history of they have killed off some characters permanently, but there is always this thing of, is he dead? Probably not. Wait a few episodes, wait a few movies, he's coming back alive again. I think if they do that, that will just be further running that into the ground. So I don't think that's going to happen. I hope not, anyway.
Hopefully. Because, I mean, it's something that has really been worrying me. Is a lot of all these theorists and stuff are saying that in an attempt that Wanda has to try... So basically, at the end of WandaVision, have you seen the ending to that, Charles?
I haven't now, but hit me.
So, do you want me to give you like the context for what happens?
Yeah, please. Yeah, go for it.
So essentially, she buggers off to this town called Westview after the events of Endgame.
Right.
And she enslaves an entire town for a month.
Right.
Like in her own like sort of way to sort of cope with her trauma and her grief.
Right.
And in this little reality, she has kids with Vision, and she brings back Pietro as well briefly too.
Right.
But it's not Pietro as in, you didn't see that coming. It's actually Evan Peters one.
Oh yeah. I saw that. I saw bits of that. Yeah.
Briefly, but it was a complete misdirect because his real name was Ralph Boner. Very funny, Marvel. Everyone's laughing. That was a big waste of a potential thing there. So essentially, it all ends with her coming to the realization that she's enslaved this entire town for a month. She fights Agatha, who's been sort of like pushing her along and prying her, and it's a massive like all-out battle, big CGI fest. And you see Scarlet Witch's full power start to really, come to fruition, and hell, like we're talking Dark Phoenix levels of power.
Oh right.
So I mean, I wouldn't mind that if she appears in Doctor Strange 2, Jean and Wanda go at it. But essentially, she ends up capturing the Darkhold from the place that Agatha used. And while she's reading it in the multiverse, she hears her kids that no longer exist in this reality in another universe. So the theory is that she's going to basically use Doctor Strange and the Illuminati to try and go through the multiverse and find her kids. And the Illuminati are going to attempt to stop her. And that's going to start this whole like beef off.
That's gonna be something.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, Doctor Strange is basically stopping people from breaking the multiverse, basically.
Yeah, but inadvertently causing it.
Yeah. Okay. Right. It's one of those catch-22s. Yeah. It's literally one of those catch-22s. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Right, I got you. Okay, I like that. That's cool. That's an interesting theory.
Yeah.
Marvel, you are definitely up in the ante. We respect it. You're keeping us entertained. We definitely love you for that. You know, you're being bold with your characters. You're being forward thinking with your plots and your motives. I can't wait to see what you come up with. I know personally, Doctor Strange 2 is going to be amazing. I have a feeling. Thor: Love and Thunder is going to be great
Thor:
as
Love and
well.
Thunder.
I feel that's going to be wonderful as well. I feel as if literally the galaxy is your oyster right now, Marvel. Literally, like you own the multiverse now, bro.
Yeah,
you can do
and
whatever.
I think credit where credit's due. I mean,
Yeah.
they just put Defenders back on Disney Plus. They're just sort of weaving them into the MCU.
Yeah, you do what you
using
do
the
now.
multiverse to celebrate multiple Spider-Men, X-Men, Fantastic Four. Then they're rebooting them into our universe properly. Then they're doing Cosmic. Then they're doing Grounded. Like they're doing a shit ton.
Yeah, for real. Nah, so Marvel, keep up the pace, man. You're doing amazing. We love you, honey. You're doing well, man.
Through the
Cheers,
pitch.
sweetheart.
We love you, sweetheart.
They're doing good.
You're
They've given
amazing.
us no reason to not trust them thus far. So
The 97 X-Men cartoon series, they're bringing that back.
Oh,
yes, they are.
oh
Oh my god, I need to do a rewatch of that. That was one. Apart from the Spider-Man cartoon, that was my cartoon.
That was the stuff right there. I think I had it back.
Nah, for real. Nostalgia.
Give us Gambit. I want my Gambit.
The proper, like when they do the X-Men, like you save Wolverine for the sequel. You don't bring him in the first film. You have like Cyclops, maybe Gambit, Jean, Storm, classic X-Men. You know,
Rogue with the comic accurate costumes. Like, can't stress that enough.
But they'll get there.
They definitely will.
So now, on to the next bowl of greatness. Sony.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Sorry.
Right.
All right.
The only company out there that can match DC in terms of incompetence and stupidity. I'm sorry, I just need to get this off my chest. How in the flying frog's fat ass do they not understand their own spell? Doctor Strange's spell, right, is to basically pull everyone into the main universe who knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man. It doesn't send them out to multiple universes. And Vulture's like, hey, I'm forming a squad. It's like, that's not the character at all. That's character assassination, Sony. Good job. Well done. His arc in Homecoming is now rendered useless.
Sorry, I got to cut you off, Jacob, but this one line. I'm here because of Spider-Man or something like that. Oh, millions of dollars of writers, and that's the motherfucking best line you can come up with.
No, and they put it in the trailer to bait everyone in. They put it in the trailer as well.
Or cancel all your theories for an entire 2 years. We had Murder of Spider-Man. Oh, Vulture shows up. What does this mean? It means nothing. It means nothing. It was 2 years of clickbait. They clickbaited that movie hard. Oh gosh. God. Absolutely.
Apparently, the Vulture bit for Morbius was until the end trailer, like the post-credit.
Yeah.
Two.
Yeah. I didn't even see it. Because I saw people trash the Eternals movie, and then I was like, I still watched it. I saw people trash Morbius, and then I was like, yeah, nah, this is bad. This is bad.
I wanted it to be good, and visually, the way it's directed, that's good. From a film standpoint, it's directed well.
Can I be honest with you? They just need to stop making it PG-13.
Yeah, or just how about we stop doing this thing where we have villains fighting someone who's more of a villain. That's not a good story.
No, it's Morbius. How are you going to do a PG-13 Morbius?
You can't. Well, they did it somehow, but...
And
then most of all these villains work. Like Superman...
I will never forget Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I'll never forget.
Spider-Man... Oh, don't bring that one up yet. Spider-Man's...
I know who I am now.
Oh, Jesus. Spider-Man's rogue gallery, the reason those villains are so good is because they challenge something about Peter, and it's like a back and forth. Something about them challenges him and pushes him, and in turn he pushes against whatever it is that they're going for. And Morbius, and I've said this a million times, is Morbius, Carnage, how is it they're handled in the 90s animated series, which is a show predominantly aimed at kids? The tone and the feel of the characters feels much more intimidating and threatening than a PG-13 movie.
It's so true. It doesn't make any sense. Because you know what's fucked as well? You know what's so mad? I remember specifically when Carnage first popped up, and I thought, and I knew you lot are pissed. Like, as a kid, I was like, a red Venom. Yeah, you lot are done out here. You lot are finished. Pack it up, go home. You lot are all gonna die. He's gonna slaughter all of you. From times when they even made it specifically known that the guy was a mass murderer that had fused with a symbiote with his blood. They even included that in the animated series, and I was like, yeah, this is nuts. He was so powerful to such a degree. Spider-Man and Venom needed to team up.
They needed to team up to
fight. Needed to team up to take this bastard down. And you need to talk. And what pissed me off in the what triggered me the most is how the hell are you making Venom stronger than Carnage, blood? That was wild to me because I didn't even see it. But when I saw
it was shoehorned. It came out of nowhere in the final act. I'm like, whoa, this wasn't earned at all. Where did this come from?
Yeah, I was like, how are you making Carnage look meaty? Like you made
him look like side dish.
Yep. Side
dish. Like it's so weird. It was like
it
was like you legitimately. It's almost as if
it was garlic bread from Nando's.
I mean, it's like that movie was basically a waste of time. Like, there's one shot I love in the movie. Damn it, man! There's one shot I love in the movie where when Carnage escapes from the jail.
Nando's.
Like bloody Nando's. Like he escapes from the jail. That shot was flipping amazing. But I think my problem is that we don't have a real reason to root for Eddie and Venom at all. So what I would have done is, because it's the second act in a 3-act play, you kill Anne, you kill his beloved off, you get rid of her. So then that way you make it personal between Eddie and Cletus and Venom and Carnage. Then it's personal. Now get this. How about this? So Anne is dead. Carnage is still alive. He escapes. He's gone. Yeah. Get away. And it doesn't matter if Toxin or Null or whoever comes. It's personal between these two. The emotional tether. Factor in No Way Home. Peter's just lost Aunt May.
Yep.
Venom and Eddie have a massive falling out. Big falling out. Venom, put him in the MCU at this point. Fine. Done. Have the suit basically bugger off. Transfer person to person. Stumble across a Peter Parker that's just lost his aunt. And that's how you give him the symbiote. And then, when you have them two cross over, they don't fight because of some Save Martha BS. But they stop the fight because they both know how it feels to lose a loved one. Like that's what I would have personally done to make it happen. It's totally stupid.
That's not right.
And with that too, it's just there's a scene of him in the club with the Coke with the glow stick going, I don't know who I am. I'm like, right, what is
Get out of here.
Yeah, they gave Venom a midlife crisis. It's wild. And also I don't know why. Because Venom is a bad guy. He doesn't people may not, and this is the wild part. People might not even know this, Venom's a bad guy. He's not an anti-hero. He ain't none of that.
Mm-hmm.
He is Spider-Man's main op. Next to Green Goblin, Venom is Spider-Man's biggest op. Am I correct or not?
Yeah,
Charles, you're right. He bring the symbiotes.
Yeah,
I mean, they essentially bring out the badness because when it was on Peter, it brought out the bad side in him. That then
Donnie was supposed to be on pure smoke. I don't know why they're trying to do this whole thing of let's be heroes, You're Venom is it doesn't make much sense because say the Sinister Six works, right?
Yeah.
Who are they going to be sinister to?
This is what I was saying. It's who do they fight?
Who the fuck are they fighting, fam?
It's like Sony.
You're an anti-hero. You're trying to do some B-Tech Avengers. Carnage is basically just a reskin
Venom.
A reskin of Venom.
That's thinner.
Fucking Morbius is like some meaty,
basically upgraded Twilight vampire.
Yeah, he's basically a more ugly Twilight vampire.
Dr. Twilight, bro.
Yeah, bro. He's basically Dr. Twilight, fam. Fam.
And then Craven.
See, and here's the fuck part.
Aaron Taylor.
Here's the wild part about Craven. Yeah. Gee, what are you going to be hunting, fam?
This is what I'm saying. Like the
None of
way
this shit makes
stories
sense.
are designed is you
Like
have a
none of this
protagonist
makes.
and an antagonist. What Sony are doing is actually, hey, we've only got the Spidey IP.
Here's what's brother. At this point, here's where Sony's fucked. You've only got my man's Ops, and you're not trying to give us a new Spider-Man movie. So what have they got to go? What have they got to do if they're not fighting the main hero? Nothing. So you have to give them brand new stories, brand new villains, brand new missions, and they don't fit because these are the bad guys. You mean to tell me?
True, but like,
you mean to tell me Morbius is out here trying to be the good guy here?
Exactly. And what they should have done, if they didn't want to do the simple thing, what they should have done was because No Way Home happened, you should have just had Venom take place in Andrew's universe. Because as much as I love Andrew, that universe is fucked anyway. It's messed up. Like Lizard looks like a dinosaur. Electro's blue.
Cool. I hear you on that. That would have made more sense. That would have made more sense. You're right, Jacob.
You put Venom over there, and Andrew said, "I want to fight an alien." Like it.
At least that would have had something. Yeah, they would have had.
It would have been something. But they're like, hey, that's the easy method.
The Sinister Six could have happened in that verse. You're absolutely right. It could have happened in that verse. And my biggest thing is this, right?
God damn it.
So we know, right, that a villain is only, a hero is only as good as his villains, right? But we only just have villains, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what they're basically doing is basically what Marvel used to do originally, where they just have a different colorway skin of their villain. But we have no reason to root for the villain either. Because you had Ironmonger originally, that was basically an evil version of Tony Stark because he wanted his company. You had Killmonger, which was an evil version of Black Panther, but at least people could sympathize with Killmonger. Cool, I get that. You even have the new witch from WandaVision. She kind of sympathized. Like, there's nothing to actually tie these lot. There's no connection. There's just like, raw. Like you're just a bad guy and that's it. And it's like,
where's the
so are you? But I'm rooting for you because I know you. It's like the only reason why I'm rooting for you is because if I don't root for, like, it's so weird. It's like,
but this is how confusing it gets. Like, they're just not every. They're taking
was a waste
and trying to heroize them. It doesn't work because not all. Like, you can only do the villain versus someone who's more villain. Like I gave it a pass for Venom because I was like, all right, Sony, you greedy fuckers, you want to have your own Iron Man. All right, fine. I'll let it slide. You butchered his storyline, but all right, fine. I'll let it slide. First Venom, it's all right. Pussy, that kind of stuff. Funny. But then after that, it just feels like, I mean, I'm looking forward to that Silk movie. I'm just saying, like, I mean, hey, Silver Sable, let's go.
It's a series, bro. They're doing Silk as a series.
Oh, Jesus.
And Silver and Sable. Well, here's the thing.
Can't wait for the Rhino show as well.
Let me rant about Sony for like give me 2 minutes.
For it, bro.
Because here's the thing.
Go for it. I rant about them all the time.
Black Cat and Silver Sable. They were okay. So they were a movie at first. Then Sony was like, no. Okay, they're gonna be 2 solo movies. Okay, so it's gonna be a Black Cat and Silver Sable. So okay, fine, works. And then second, they was like, actually, no, we're gonna do it as a series now. So it's gonna be Black Cat and Silver Sable. It's like, fine. And now I'm hearing, actually, no, we're gonna scratch that and we're gonna go back to the Black Cat. Just like, pick up your motherfucking minds, bro. And bro, Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. Woody Harrelson, wonderful casting. Like we know Woody Harrelson, he's a brilliant actor, and you didn't utilize him, and least screen time and like crying out loud. What really got me on my nerves is just like, okay, with this Sony, you don't do your homework, you don't read your comics, man. Do your homework, man, because literally you have to understand Carnage and Cassidy, they're the same.
Yeah,
Venom and Eddie,
unstable motherfuckers alive, man.
Yeah, they're like two.
They're the strongest bonded symbiote and host.
Yeah, but like literally, Cassidy and Carnage, same thing, same person. But why is Cassidy just having a little argument with Carnage? Just like, no, that's my wife. And Shriek, how
she
you
was used as a plot device to separate the two.
So you mean to tell me you're making my man's girl? You're making my man's girl like his weakness.
Yeah,
like bro, his one weakness is fire and sounds. Like, bro, you see?
Yeah,
really?
that was hilarious. Stuart, what have you got?
Wait, and you're bringing X-Men and mutants in that, and like this is how you. Oh my, wow, okay.
That's all. So, Stu, what you got for us, bro?
Well, I mean, like the Spider-Verse between Marvel Studios and Sony is a mess, and it's mainly, particularly, obviously, on Sony's part. In fact, probably entirely on Sony's part. Like, you know, the end credit scene. Spoiler alert, in case anyone here hasn't seen Morbius, I don't blame you if you haven't. The end credit scene in Morbius just completely contradicts what happened at the end of No Way Home. And I think the reason Sony are still making these solo Spider-Man villain films without having Spider-Man in it is sort of to try and for them to stay relevant in the superhero movie scene. Like, hey, we're still here.
Yeah.
They dropped the ball big time with Venom 2. Not having Spider-Man in it, for starters. Also, you know, as Ty, I thought, made a brilliant point with, from what I've heard in the comics, with Cletus Cassidy and Carnage, the symbiote, being so strong, but them arguing with each other and having a disconnect makes zero sense. You know, it's the thing is, I enjoyed Morbius more than Venom 2 because I thought the action in Morbius was cool. I thought the final scene with Morbius using all those bats was cool. Spoiler alert, GEEK. But again, like the end credit scene with Morbius with Vulture, I mean, not that I could do any better, but the screenwriting, the writing in that end credit scene was like a 6-year-old wrote that. You know, it wasn't very good at all. But you know. And that's all I really have to say much on Sony's handling of the Spider-Man IP. It's a mess.
It is, man, for real.
Yeah,
Thanks
it's
for
an
that.
absolute travesty, but yeah,
You know,
there is some good in there. They just can't hit the mark.
Would you believe they might? Okay, here's the thing: they could either fuck this up, they maybe have a way to kind of save it, but then again, they might be Sony. Because here's my theory: because Russell Crowe he's going to be in Craven, but his role's not been confirmed. I'm thinking, okay, so this is kind of, and now they're making a Madam Web movie. So there's other 3 people that I think Russell Crowe could either be. He could either be Nikolai Kravinoff, Sergei's dad. I don't think so because Russell Crowe is a big name, big actor. I don't think it's a waste of his time. You know, let's be honest. He could either be 2 people. I wrote down their names before. Yeah, the Outcast or Morlon. Now, the Outcast, he featured in the Amazing Spider, the original 90s cartoon Spider-Man. Basically, he went to Madam Web and he was seeking out warriors for like the potential fight against the Charles, do you know anything about the Inheritors from the comics out of interest?
They sound familiar. They sound mad familiar.
Here's the thing: the Inheritors, from what I can understand, now don't quote me, from what I've read, is basically they go around and they're looking for specific parts of members of the Spider-Verse, and so now they're doing a Silk series. Silk was a very poignant part of that. So she was it's called the Spider Bride. Yes, them man. She was Silk was the Spider Bride. I think Otto Octavius' superior Spider-Man was the Sard. They were called totems. I can't remember all 3. There was like 3 particular ones. But then, yeah. So basically, the Inheritors needed them to kind of basically own the kind of feed off the Spider-Verse. So the Outcasts, that's what I'm thinking for Russell Crowe's character. He goes and finds particular warriors. So i.e. maybe Craven or maybe the other Spider-Man. And that's... Across the Spider-Verse was delayed, so that's how I'm kind of thinking it's connected. That's how all is going to be connected.
Basically, you're going to treat Spider-Man's ops as the Avengers to battle the bigger threat that is also linked to Spider-Man else, but also tied to the multiverse.
So, does Sony have like this fetish for basically actors that are in the MCU already? Do they have a fetish for casting them in other roles? Like, you've got Aaron Taylor-Johnson, who was Quicksilver. You didn't see that coming, so we're definitely not getting him back. He's now going to be Craven. So, Russell, is this confirmed that Russell Crowe is going to be in, what movie is it you said?
Craven.
But
yeah, Russell Crowe's in Craven.
He's in Thor Love and Thunder as Zeus.
I mean, what Russell Crowe's role is in Craven, we don't know.
He's trying to get the
still
bag, bro.
unknown.
My gosh.
He's trying to get the bag, bro. Listen, all I'm saying is this, innit? Like, if you're going to treat Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery as the new Avengers to team up against Spider-Man's greater enemies, that's probably your only saving grace. I'll be real. That's the only way you can
enemies
probably
versus enemies.
Enemies versus enemies, but make Spider-Man's enemies relatable. Give them a bit of a character. You're gonna have to treat them like Venom, unfortunately, because that's what we've come to
We're
expect.
gonna have about 6 or 7 Venoms.
When your cinematic universe is in the shit, who you gonna call? Michael Keaton, i.e. Sony.
We'll get on to DC's handling of that in a minute. I got a few things to.
Is Michael Keaton the trump card for cinematic universe? It's like, okay, so we're failing.
Yeah, wherever Michael Keaton is, there's some controversy around the universe. I love you, Michael Keaton, but for Christ's sake, bro. What are your thoughts on the Sony situation?
You know what? In a nutshell, I just feel bad for obviously the fans of Spider-Man, first and foremost, that they're kind of having to deal with this kind of split universe, weird splicing situation. But ultimately, also the actors, like thinking of Andrew Garfield, like it wouldn't be off the table that he might get yanked back into this weird spliced up Morbius, Craven, Venom universe and become the Spider-Man back in there. And like after the popularity he's just gained from No Way Home, to then potentially get sucked back into that, because Tobey Maguire's he's done and dusted now. He might make cameos here or there, right? The guy's on the better half of 45. They might throw him in for more cameo stuff in the future. Andrew Garfield, I think from what I understand, he's very much a fan of the character, so he would be absolutely open to doing more projects as Spider-Man. But to go back into the Sonyverse, I just feel bad for the guy if he does get pulled back in. Not pulled back in, he'd have to agree to it. But if Sony I don't know what they're going to do. Cast their own we're going to have a 4th Spider-Man in live action. Obviously, we will for Miles Morales.
Yeah.
But would we have another 4th Peter Parker live action? I mean, it's just going to get.
There's a rumor that's going around that might be the case.
I mean,
a 4th.
I have to give it the benefit of the doubt.
It has to be Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man if that's the case. Then
just make it Andrew.
Yeah, make it Andrew. Andrew is the mentor to Miles. They probably do something like that because they're going to do live action Miles. It's only a matter of time. Why not have Andrew as the mentor for Miles? That could work. Yeah. But
Sony, if you like your fan service, look, we were all clapping and screaming when we saw Andrew, and I was crying a bit. So
I mean, the thing is, like Sony, like I'm going to extend an olive branch here. There we go. That got rid of that. Sony, you're a business. You like your money. So here's what you do. I'm going to remove my fandom out of this. From a business perspective, MCU, Tom, that's the way forward over there. We know you want Miles. Tom is not, his Spider-Man is nowhere near ready for a Miles introduction. And that's purely because it's a different kind of storytelling. Andrew and Toby had the traditional trilogies. Tom has like stretched out movies across multiple arcs. So here's what you do. You give Miles to Andrew. You give him to Andrew. But first, you give Andrew maybe a little, swan song. You give him the movie that he really deserved, TASM 3. If you guys have been on any any page to do with Spider-Man, make TASM 3, make TASM 3, make TASM 3. Like, it's just every single comment. But if you're going to do it, Sony, please give him a movie that he deserves. Don't give another, Harry's dead. Like, don't do that.
Don't do the OG script, because I don't know if you guys saw the OG script for TASM 3, but it seems Matthew McConaughey is going to be Craven.
There is some good gems in this little Sony world. There is some good gems in there. And I think that's what frustrates me is they've got this potential to sort of work with the MCU. They'll change things like Venom or Morbius here or there. But if they play ball, everybody wins and everybody can eat. And they can all make it work. But it feels like Sony are just kind of like, lackadaising around, throwing the toys out. And then Marvel have got to keep picking it up. And then Sony are knocking it back down. And it's like, play with Sony, because then you both win. I mean, they go based on what works. And Into the Spider-Verse showed Sony multiple Spider-Men on screen can work. So they were like, okay, maybe Andrew and Toby can come back. And then the money spoke. So it's whatever like goes well business-wise in that sense that encourages them. So, you know, hey, so you know what to do, Sony. Here's the olive branch. Execute.
Go for it.
Execute.
Absolutely. All right.
Order 66.
That's
Not bad.
Sinister 6 covered. That's Sony covered.
No.
Lads, shall we enter the DC universe now?
Now, I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say, because I shit you not, people that are watching. The first ever conversations I had with these guys on here about DC, we're still having now. So, you know, nothing's changed in like 3 or 4 years.
Literally.
But
That's so sad to say. Like, any of the OGs that are watching this, go back to our very
4
first
years
podcast.
later.
And 4 years, oh
we're
gosh.
still talking the same things.
Oh,
Like, I'll be interested to hear all your thoughts on the Batman, because I love that. But
Can I kick off the DC thing? Is that cool?
you make
please go for it, bro.
man.
Hit me with it. What you got? Oh, you
This is
got a
your
list
time,
as well.
man.
I need to hear this.
Yeah. So
My man's got notes.
Yeah, he's got notes. He came prepared. He's like, you lot are gonna hear me today. Go on, Ty. What you got for us?
I did my homework in terms of Young Justice. Oh, mad. Full screen and center. So I'll get on to Young Justice, but I'll talk about DC Cinematic Universe. Bro,
Okay.
what is even the Flash movie? It's like,
Oh, my man Darius hates that shit, man.
it's cursed. It's
Go on,
cursed.
chat. Speak, bro. Go on. Sorry. Go on.
Yeah,
Speak.
So like this
Storyline.
in today's news, our boy Ezra Miller has assaulted a brother in Hawaii again. So I don't know.
This man's nuts.
This guy.
And I
He should-
personally, you know what? I understand Ezra's pain. I mean, this movie is supposed to come out 2018. It's now 2022. So, well, actually, it's 2023 now. It's going to be coming out. So
Ironically, in the Flash.
yeah, and what I'm hearing is what you're doing is so okay, cool. We get Michael Keaton. Cool, we get Batman, and now you're pushing this back. And now I'm hearing rumors like, so, bruh, are you going to turn the first ever Flash movie, the first ever solo movie, live action, into basically Batman No Way Home? Because I hear you're going to bring in Robert Pattinson. Bruh.
Nah, surely not. You know what?
Listen, I understand why Ezra's crying. I understand why he's going mad. Like, I would, like, bro.
I heard
my movie.
I heard Ezra Miller got tired of being the Flash because they've been making him wait so long, so he just decided to become Eobard.
He just decided to do something to pick up the pace.
Yeah, he just
He's
decided
like,
to
push
say,
this
"Fuck
along.
it. If I can't be Flash, I'll just be the villain in real life. I'll start smoking people.
I'll go
I'm tired of
reverse.
you. I'm just gonna inherit Eobard Thorne's will and start smoking people outside in real life.
And he plays
Until you
Credence in
pick up the
Fantastic
pace.
Beast as well. So he plays, you know, he's got all this like
Yeah,
anger
man.
from these
This
characters.
guy's got
you
some
know.
power. You know what's wild as well? And you know, I feel slightly so bad for DC as well. The Flash really could have been what restarts the DC universe if they just did Flashpoint. If they just made Flashpoint as a DC movie, that'd be them sorted, you know.
That would solve
That would solve everything.
The problem.
That
And
would
we had
solve
this
everything.
conversation 3 or 4 years ago. We said this that
Yeah.
as much as I don't like the fact that DC are using Flash's biggest storyline in this way to cover up incompetence, it is a way that can be feasible and it can work. But DC, I'll throw it back to you, Charles, and I'll remember. I'll never forget this. Is DC being DC won't pull this off well.
Listen. I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong so badly.
Me
I want to
too.
be wrong so badly. I really do. I don't feel as if like.
I
First of
think
all,
in a way. No, go on, Charles.
you know what's so mad? Okay, so Ezra Miller, my man's just been an absolute nuisance, assaulting people, getting nicked, you know, just making things long for DC. You know, the guy's just been a pain to work with. Being an absolute nuisance. I think this guy's getting a little bit of a god complex here. He might need to be humbled a little bit. But in terms of them pushing back the start date, I'm happy they're doing that because it shows to me that they're actually trying to take this seriously. And I don't know whether this is because maybe, you know, he's got some legal battles in the future, probably will be. But, you know, I'm glad that they're at least going forward and, you know, trying to, you know, they want this to work. They want this to succeed. And they know that if they're going to do this right, they're going to have to push things back. 2023, I hear it, innit? Like, if it has to be done that way, so be it. Because I feel like the Flash, if the Flash movie doesn't work, then DC really is pissed.
Yeah, then they
Like
got
they only have Batman, and that's sad to say. Like Superman was good. Man of Steel was alright. Man of Steel was really good. Man of Steel was alright. Man of Steel was really good. You've only really got Batman. Realistically, everything else is sinking. The first Wonder Woman movie was amazing. The second one, not so much. Aquaman was amazing. Shazam was pretty cool. Shazam was fun. Shazam was really fun.
Was funny as hell.
No, but Charles, are you seeing the trend here? I think it's when DC is when they have a certain focus, i.e., origin stories. You know, focus on one particular stories. Don't throw big buckets. I.e., Zack Snyder's Justice League. You know, they did that pretty well. I.e., shouldn't really been 4 hours long. You know, but that's my opinion. I still liked it. But when they're going for this like more adult narrative, kind of like having singular kind of like it works and like it kind of has been working, i.e. the Suicide Squad, that word. I don't know if you guys have been watching Peacemaker, but I've seen a few episodes that's been really
want to taste it. Yeah.
Been really
that shit's hilarious.
And so in a sense, like DC, okay, yeah, it's a mess. They tried something, they tried to be their own cinematic universe, but I think they're somewhat finding their feet, and you know,
they just need to have some humility and know that they can't compete with Marvel at this point. Just acknowledge you can't compete with Marvel.
That is the problem that we discussed back then. Is when you get to Civil War with the MCU, they've earned it because they built up to it. Even though Tony and Cap, they only teased it the last maybe 2 movies. They built up to that movie. Yeah. They took their time. DC were like, okay, we're 1 movie in. Batman versus Superman, let's go. It's like, whoa. Yeah, slow your roll. Hold on. And then you kill Superman at the end. You waste Doomsday with some teenage mutant ninja turtle looking arse. And then you do all this weird concocted stuff here. I'm like, oh no, what are you doing? Stop it. And then you get to Justice. And then you get the Zack Snyder one that was that slap. But I think, you know, it's just, again, DC have the potential and the minerals, but they screw themselves over.
Bro, they can't even pattern their actors. Ray Fisher got blackballed and cut. Ezra Miller's on a mad thing. Amber Heard is beating up her husband. Like, bro, you not can't. It's not even funny. It's sad when you keep it.
Even the guy who played Joker in Batman, he got arrested the other day.
Yeah, all these actors are just on some bullshit. Like they don't even care anymore. WB is just really out here just taking L's. There is no bros in this, fam. It's just Warner.
They were bought by Discovery. Who's Discovery? Who is that?
No. Discovery. Warner Brothers is owned by Discovery, not the other way around.
But how? I didn't realize they had money. They got money. Shit.
Nah, WB's got money. Don't get twisted. WB's got enough money. WB's got money.
They got plenty of money.
They got money. Trust me. When you own DC, when you own DC's publishing movies and comics and that, trust me, you've got money.
Charles. Discovery bought these Warner Brothers.
Discovery bought Warner Brothers.
Yeah,
that's wild.
They have money. Shit. I need to watch some trees and plants and animals and things. Like, bro, they got money. Shit.
No, for real. Listen. Mergers and acquisitions. Okay, that's Ty. You've actually brought me onto a really, really good point here. Mergers and acquisitions are very, very important for some companies because it allows extra resources, extra funding, and extra ideas into new. Well, I can't say new companies, but companies in general, right? It allows them to branch. It allows them to grow their portfolio of products, services, all of those things, etc. Right? Are you not following me? So, if that is the case, then that may be a good thing in a sense of being able to diversify your portfolio and bring in some more money in because you have more to offer as a company because you have more products, etc., etc. So that very well could be a good thing. So don't knock on it too hard. Don't knock on it too hard. That's what I'm saying. Like it could actually be.
I think Warner Brothers is cleaning house as well. Like they're getting some of the people the fuck out of there. Like they're clean.
I'm not gonna lie, they need to. They really do need to.
So with this clean sweep, And
really
with
do.
the success of the Batman and how good that was, and Joker as well, like this is the time to really piggyback off of that and then get this steam train rolling. Because I mean, you guys will know exactly what I'm on about here. We came from an era where Justice League was up there with the X-Men, the Fantastic Four. The Avengers were nowhere to be seen. Like,
Yeah,
no,
for
like
real.
they were here and there, but they weren't, you know, like what they
It's
are
true.
now. You know,
It's true.
Justice League, dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun,
Yeah.
dun, you know, they were
Yeah.
cream of the crop.
Yep.
And now it's
Creme de
Don't,
la
don't
creme.
forget Unlimited.
good. You know?
Yeah, no,
And
of course.
it's-
Yeah, of course. Same thing,
and that's
bro.
where Marvel are winning even more, is they've done all this and they haven't even used Fantastic Four and X-Men properly. Like it's so DC, I'm hoping with this can really channel that energy that they've got from their recent projects into a positive sort of direction. Especially with the Flash movie, like use it as a beacon to restart things. But with all the personal affairs that they got going off with their actors, you know,
They can't
Christopher
pattern
stuff,
shit.
Ezra,
They're fucked.
they're just
They just need to pray that the Flash movie bangs, because also another thing, fucking continuity. Even Sony has a continuity. That's how bad it is.
I may not like it, but at least they do.
They have a continuity. We don't know if the Batman is in the DCEU or not. We don't know if the Suicide Squad is in the DCEU or not. We don't know if Shazam's in. Actually, no, Shazam. I think Shazam is in the DCEU.
Yeah,
One of them is. Yeah. But what baffles me the most, right, is that they're like, I think it's the cut. I call it the multiverse curse. When anyone else besides Marvel do anything to do with the multiverse, it just begins to flop.
No.
I really do believe it. Like, I really do
Especially
believe
you
it.
take
Like,
into account with the CW shows.
Shared universe curse. Anything with a shared universe doesn't bang for anyone else that isn't Marvel. For real.
And
I feel like that's just
I was saying to someone the other day is that, you know, I may not like every Marvel movie that comes out, but credit where credit's due. Even if I don't personally like one that they put out, the odd one, you know, it's very rare. Most of them I generally love, or even something that's like Eternals, I'm a bit iffy on. At least story-wise, it's like this still adds. It doesn't really take anything away, or there's small little changes. And they've done this consistently over like 20-odd films, multiple shows. Now they're bringing in multiverse characters from legacy stuff that we grew up with. Like, count your blessings, Marvel fans. Hey, we've gone through Ghost Rider, Fantastic Four with a fart cloud. Like we've gone through the ringer.
Yeah,
you know, just saying.
You've been for it.
But DC can't even string like 3 films together. You know,
seriously, it's so sad. Like, it's so weird. It's like one movie we always know is gonna flop. Like, you have literally, you know what I said? Yeah, that the only thing that they sort of got is Batman.
Yeah,
the Joker was fantastic. That was anything to do with DCU. The Batman, fantastic. That's got nothing to do with DCU.
Incredible. The Joker.
Your only biggest selling points are things that aren't connected to the main DCEU.
Yep, that's a problem.
That's a thing, and so be it if that's the case, isn't it? But what I want to know is, where are you trying to go with next? Like, what are you trying to do? Because, like, did you not see the new trailer that DC released where they had not the Atom Smasher and Dr. Fate and Hawkman?
Yes, I saw that. Yeah,
right. That actually gave me hope in DC again, because that looked amazing. Like, they looked like they had a plan. Like, they actually, like, I could actually see where these were going.
Somewhat of a plan.
Yeah, because like you had Hawkman, you had Dr. Fate, you had 2
Atom Smasher in there as well.
Yeah, Atom Smasher. You had 2 really old characters that are kind of both linked to ancient Egypt and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They could have been like really, really amazing to put in because of the historical aspect. You know, we could have had a bit of the thing like the Eternals happening, where
it's basically Doctor Strange but gold. Like, you know,
we could have had
potential.
Yeah.
Black Adam looks pretty cool.
Like, it's so sad because, like, you know, DC could act, because when DC do an amazing series, or an amazing movie, it fucking slaps. It hits. Yeah. And I think it's sad when, you know, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad was the Wonder Woman movie? Like, be honest.
Which one was
the second one?
The second one. Because I never watched it.
A 5 out of 10.
Okay.
I agree with Stu.
I don't hate it. Like,
so would you say it's the same as Eternals?
Nah.
No.
Just under.
Eternals, I
Ooh.
thought was better than Wonder Woman. Not that much,
Yeah.
but it was definitely more memorable.
I mean,
Right.
Eternals had Cersei. I'm just saying, but you know,
Oh yeah, and Cersei. As well.
but that aside, like I think for me, like Wonder Woman, I can rewatch it, but I haven't gone out of my way to since.
Right, yeah.
But it's okay. It's just kind of you know.
Got you.
The first one's good though. Oh,
Yeah.
First
got you.
one's brilliant.
So you know what it is? You know what it is? DC won't tell us what's in the DCEU anymore because they don't even know
They're
really
scared
where
to
they're
tell
going.
us now.
They're just so afraid of, like, if they could have put the Batman in the DCEU, they would have.
They would.
But they didn't know whether it'd do numbers or not. But I will say, okay, we mentioned the Batman a lot, lads.
Yeah.
I got a hot take for you lot, and I'm gonna be honest with you.
Shoot.
Right. The only reason why the Batman was as good as it wasn't because of Robert Pattinson. It wasn't because of the actor. It wasn't because of Catwoman. It wasn't even because of the setting itself.
Matt Reeves.
It wasn't even because of Matt Reeves, I don't think. I think it was so good because it just followed a really good detective story. Like, if you just put Sherlock Holmes in that same situation,
You still have a good movie.
you still have a really good movie. It's less about Batman and it's more about our man trying to solve a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was what really sold it for a lot of people. Like, they made Batman a detective again. It wasn't about him kicking ass and trying
It
to
took
fly
us
across
like
the
6
galaxy.
Batman to get there, but we finally got.
It was just a man solving a mystery, and I think that's what sold it for people.
Yep.
So
Good
I
point.
think if they did, I think it's because they hit it on a new angle. That's probably what made it run so well.
Mhm.
So that's my take on the Batman. Like,
It's a very good take, Charles. Yeah.
I think that's probably what it was. A good mystery movie.
Mm.
It wasn't
Absolutely.
a Batman movie. It was a good
It was
mystery.
Batman's
movie.
roots.
Yeah, it was a good Batman mystery movie, in my opinion. It was just like a good mystery movie at all.
And on that,
And
like,
I think the Riddler, and it was inspired by the Zodiac Killer, in case any of you didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that in itself just goes to show how really in depth and thought
And there is a great foundation there to build a massive like Batman universe. Like, I want them to do Batman focus on that universe. Like, I'm talking like full on Bat family down the line. Work towards that.
You know what they were saying? You see that that got his dad killed off. They were trying to say that it's going to be Robin.
That's
Yeah.
Robin. 100%. Yeah,
So
100%
that's
it's
a
going to be
shout,
Robin.
for real.
And I think, he'll be the first Robin. He'll probably go by Dick Grayson or something. Like, they'll change the origins a little bit. But I think this Batman, you could get 20 movies out of this. I think they're really laying the groundwork here for a long-term Batman. And I think one of the things that sells it even more so for me is when I was watching it, I didn't give a frog's fat ass what the sequel had in store. I didn't really care about an end credit scene, because that's the thing now. It's like, what's the end credit scene? It's like, hang on, whoa, hang on, whoa. I put the end credit. Hang on. What's the movie saying? You can have a good end credit scene in a shit movie. It's like you got a cherry on top of all the shit. So when I was watching it, it was like, this is really good, and you're just immersed in it. And it feels like Batman. It just like, it feels right. And even though it's like the 6th or 7th version we've seen, they still kept it fresh, and I really enjoyed that about it. Stu, what did you think, sir?
So with the topic on DC,
there would be no credits.
I mean, this is slightly off topic, but it is still related, I guess, to Aquaman 2. Why is Amber Heard in Aquaman 2 and Johnny Depp is not in Fantastic Beasts 3? They're both accusing each other of terrible things, and neither of them have been arrested or charged or anything. So why is one of them still getting movie roles and the other one isn't? That makes no sense to me.
Why is Ezra Miller still Flash?
Yeah,
that's an even better question.
Yeah, and to
what the fuck is going on with them?
As much as I hate the CW, to just bring Grant Gustin over.
He's a fantastic Flash.
Did you see that? That's all I was seeing. Like, Grant, your time is now, bro. You can take that spot, bro.
Grant, slip in.
Grant, you can do it, bro.
Grant, you've been waiting for this.
Everyone's rooting for you. Take
And he's
Ezra's
just
spot,
thinking like,
bro.
oh yeah, maybe, and then he's internally going, yeah.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, Stu, but
Yeah,
as soon as I
sorry.
heard that, I was busting up. But go on.
But no, on the topic of that, like the Flash movie sounds like it's going to be a complete mess. And I've never really rated Ezra Miller as the Flash character. Not
My
him as
boy
an
was saying
actor,
the exact same thing.
but
My guy was saying it.
as the Flash character.
My guy was saying it.
And again, why has he not been fired from the role when he's been doing these terrible things? But other actors that are in similar positions have been. It just makes no sense to me. And also, why is there no Man of Steel 2? And why are they seemingly just removing Henry Cavill's Superman? He's a fantastic casting for the role of Superman. And they're going to cast, from what I heard, obviously there's a live action HBO Max Michael B. Jordan Superman show coming.
And we had this conversation 3 to 4 years ago.
What I find interesting is they're going to cast Michael B. Jordan as Kal-El's Superman. But correct me if I'm wrong, folks, there is a black Superman in the comics that goes by a different name and a different storyline.
Yep,
okay,
absolutely.
so why not do one of those storylines? And
because DC missed the bag.
Michael B. Jordan as Kal-El. That makes that makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
DC missed the plot. DC level decision.
The Batman film, that came out is a tremendous triumph, and has saved Warner Brothers' credibility for the DC brand. I think, Charles, you absolutely nailed it. I didn't think about that before with why it was such a good film. It wasn't about the action, it wasn't about the CGI. The action CGI, I'm all for that. It's cool and all that. It's epic. It's one of many, many reasons why Doctor Strange 2 is probably going to be fantastic. Yeah. But sometimes you can just have it on the ground level and a good mystery film. And I think that you're absolutely right, mate. I think that's why it resonated well with a lot of people. And what was so good about that is, yes, it was very long, but unlike the Eternals, it was necessary to be long. That first hour and a half was necessary to build the world, to build the story, to build the characters.
Set those characters up.
And I really hope that they give Matt Reeves full backing and support for this universe that he's seemingly going to try and build. Don't make it connect to anything that's come before. Make it be its own solo thing. Okay, and just stick with that. You can have the DCU and revitalize it, but keep this Batman separate. Because I think if they do that on a ground level and keep it in this particular world, I think, folks, it could be something quite special.
Definitely. What? No, you're absolutely right, Stu.
What's that?
100%.
No, I completely agree. It's just one of them kind of things where I just hope they keep it separate to what it is and don't mix the two. They've got a good thing going with the Batman. A really good thing. Good points, Stu. Good points. Lewis, sir, what did you think?
What you got, sir?
Well, to piggyback in off of the Batman comments, yeah, I loved it. Agree with what Charles said. Making it around a detective approach to the film was excellent. Good cast. I really appreciate it as well. I was fortunate enough to see it in IMAX, and appreciating the sound and the visuals as well. In terms of, I think from what I understand, they filmed it up around Liverpool area, and the cinematography for me, like just some of the shots of Gotham. I'll admit I've not seen every incarnation of Gotham in all of the different TV shows and films. Like I haven't seen the Gotham TV series yet. I'm planning to do a binge of that. But
if you sorry to cut you off there. If you do like the Batman, you will love Gotham.
Oh yeah,
pretty much that.
Oh yeah. I've always had a soft spot for the Bat. I loved the Nolan trilogy. I loved enjoyed some of the animated stuff, and I think, but from what I've heard, one of the things fans most appreciated about it was that it's one of the best, if not the best, on-screen adaptations of Gotham. Like the way that they represented Gotham